Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Kevin. In this video we're going to translate 10 verses from the Old High German text from the 9th century in the Bavarian dialect in the text called a Muspilli, which is a pretty cool text because it's a Christian text, but the way it's just the way texts of this period describe Christianity, they describe it through a pagan lens. So it's going to be really cool how the translation and how it all will come out together. So yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, so this is from 9th century in the Bavarian dialect of Old High German. So let's get right into it. Okay, let's start with the first verse. Okay, so we have sin tak bequeme das towan skall. Okay, what does this mean? Okay, well, the word seen here, this could mean a number of things in Old High German. It could mean his or her or its, depending on the context. Given that, we don't have the full manuscript, we're kind of left to, our own mental speculation. But thankfully, due to what we have here, we can kind of get it where later on we find out that, okay, spoiler alert, this does mean his, so like, yeah, kind of like how you say today in German, seiner. So yeah, so we got seen, and tak is day, so like, okay, so we got his day. Now here we have a verb here. This suffix here is like it's a variant of be, as in like by in English. It kind of like, but in this context it means like around, from, whatnot. And this verb here of itself is its infinitive form is a queman, which means to come, and whatnot. So come around, or or in this context, draw near. So I'm just gonna translate as draw near. And we got das, and that is what you think it is if you know a bit of German. That, and that is he, just like in today's German, Towan, in manuscripts or some editions or editings. Oh, that's really weird English. Anyway, sometimes you see the same word look like this with two U's, but I'm putting a W, so make it easier make it easier to read, because the thing is, different grammarians or linguists, they tend to put different things, what makes it easier for them to look at. I mean, of course, ideally you want to be close to the manuscript as possible, but at the same time, you want to be able to read the thing, right? So anyway, this verb here is in the infinitive, and it means to die or perish. So perish, and skall is shall, cognate the shall, but I would imagine it also have like the meaning of must as well, like an obligation, right? So his day draw near, that he perish shall, whatnot. Yeah, and as far as like what part of speech this is, I think this is in the subjunctive. Yeah. Joseph Wright, where I got this text from, he suggests that the part before here is like, let a man think, or something like that. And so this might, he's kind of suggesting that this would be like kind of like the subjunctive in the mode of like let a man, or let something, or in this case, let his day draw near that he shall perish. But anyway, let's not try to mental speculate too much now, because we're translating what we can see here, right? So his day literally draw near. I know I'm putting draw near because just to get the meaning across. I mean, if I were to be very very direct, very very it wouldn't make sense to a present day English audience, right? So draw near that he perish shall. Okay, let's move on to the next verse. Okay. Wantasar so sich diosela in den sind arhevit. Okay, so this is, make that into lowercase. This word here is pretty interesting. It means because, but it also means like since as well. So anyway, let's make this a little bigger so we can see what we're doing. Okay, because, whoa, it's in bold. How do I undo that? Oh, there we go. Because now sar in Old English can mean it can mean at once or immediately or whatnot. So you can because at once so, and so it means same thing, so or thus, if you will. Here we have something quite interesting. This is a reflexive personal pronoun, like how you have today in today's German of a sich, where it's a reflexive personal pronoun. So it's like, well, in this context, I'm going to translate it as herself, because this is a feminine noun, and this is a feminine a definite article in the singular, right? So, so because at once, so herself, meaning the soul, the soul. Yeah, this is a sela. Then we got into the, and this is the in the accusative, because we had den right there in the accusative, and we're getting a little big here. Hang on, let's make this a little smaller. And then we got sinned. When I first saw it, I was like, whoa, is this sinned as in like the part of the verb to be? No, it isn't. It actually means direction or way. So into the direction. And then we got arhevit. This is a variant form of like hefan or something like that. It's related to our English word to heave, like to raise up. To that's what it means. Like the way it means that, it means to like raises up. Yeah. So yeah, because it's in the third person present indicative. Yeah. So like the final thing like that, like it. It can mean you can in some way equate it to like the eth in Old English, right? But anyway, let's not get too wrapped up in that, because we have lots to translate. So yeah, so the translation here is because at once or immediately, so herself the soul into the direction raises up. You know, I mean, this is a clunky straight translation. The soul. Or you could say the soul herself raises up into the direction. I mean, or what have you. But it's always good to be literal, you know, to translate what is actually there. Because the problem with some translators, you know, they translate, you know, too poetically or what have you. You know, whereas myself, I like to be very direct. Anyway, let's move on. Enti si den lichamun. Likkan las. Oh, wait, hang on 1 second. And we're back. Sorry about that. Had to change that into a long A, because that's what Joseph Wright has on his version. So anyway, so enti si den lichamun likkan lasit. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, enti means and you see, the thing is with Old High German is that especially with Bavarian or just Old High German in general, really, it's not really a standardized language. So you would have like more than one word, like to just like for the word she. You know, in the same inflected case, you know, which makes it really hard to, like, when you read a text, you know, like, especially when you're dealing with dialects and time period and whatnot, it's just, oh man. Whereas Old English, it's a bit easier because you have a lot of text from the same period, Whereas with Old High German, there are a lot of texts that are from different periods, and as well, even within a text, you would have like different variant spellings and whatnot. So it's like really hard to discern and whatnot, and that's why I'm making this video to help you guys out, right? So anyway, so NTC, and this is yes, this is she. And yeah, that might be somewhat weird. Where does the she come from? Well, we're referring to the soul here, because the soul here is in the is a feminine noun, right? So that's why we get that she there. So anyway, so she, the, and this is the accusative, body, and yeah, this is body. Yeah, this is body, or literally. Okay, well, I want to be very exact. This word here evolved. This part of the word here evolved into Leich, or I think it's Leiche, or Leich. Anyway, which is body, and this part from the uninflected form is Hamel, which means covering. It's actually cognate to Old English Likhama, which means the same thing. So anyway, and she, the body. Lie down. Whoops. Lie down. Lets or permits. Yeah, let's do lets. Yeah, because that's what this this verb means. It's like lassen, I believe, if I'm correct, in lassen in Old High German. Yeah, and it means to let, to allow, and whatnot. So in our translation here, very very clean. And she lets the body lie down. Yeah, she, the soul, lets the body lie down. Yeah, that would be a proper clean translation, but we're kind of being very literal here. So yeah, so she lets the body lie down. I mean, that would be a nice translation, but let's be literal here, and to the point. Well, not too literal, because we want to understand the text, right? So let's move on. Okay, so krimit en heri fona himmel zugalon. Så krimit en heri fona himmel zugalon. What does this mean? Okay, we'll find out. So we got this is like, or thus, if you will, quimit. This is again from the verb queman, meaning to come. So comes en, later ein. So comes and heri means army. Army comes in army. Fauna. This is from in Old English. Old High German. Whoa. Sorry guys, this is not Learnado. Anyway, and then we got Himmel, Zugalon. Okay, this is a very interesting word, because Himmel it literally means heaven, but the thing is, the uninflected form is Himmel Zugalon. Sorry, pardon me. Himmel Zugal. This literally means like heaven. Like, some would translate this word Zugal, actually cognate, I would think, to Old English Tungol, which means, it can mean star, it can mean, but I think it can mean planet as well. But I think on a more general basis, you could say, like, lack of a better, like, body, as in like heavenly body, like, so because Joseph Wright, he translates this as like heavenly star, which would make sense, right? Heavenly, oh my god, I can't even spell anymore. Like heavenly star, which I don't know if that would be the case or not, but like I rather the way I would translate it, it'd be heavenly body, as in like something from the sky. We don't know if it's a star or a planet and whatnot, so that's how I would translate it. So yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Oops. Yeah. Oh, what's going on? Oh, what am I doing? I'm sorry. We're going all over the place. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So, das andar von pehe dar pagant siu umpi. Siu umpi. Okay, so what does this mean? Okay, so we got das, which means that. So that second andar, that second fauna from, and here it's an interesting word, peche, which, you know, actually the unflected form is just pech, and this means hell, which is pretty interesting, you know. Anyway, we've got dar, which is cognate to like there. Pagant means like to like fight, quarrel, and whatnot. But this is conjugated in the third person plural. So it's like fight, and like, and siu is they, and in umpi means around. So that second from hell, they fight they around, or they fight around, or whatnot. So pretty straightforward. Let's move on. Sorgen mac dio sela, unsi dio suona arget. So what does this mean? Okay, we're gonna be very literal here. So we're gonna, and sorgen means like to care, means to have sorrow and whatnot. So have sorrow, and mac is actually it's from the verb magan, and it means the same thing as in Old English. Like it's kind of like how we say today in English, like can, like ability to do something. So have sorrow can the soul. And then we have unsi, which is until, the suona. Well, suona, the thing is, suona could be translated in a few ways. It could mean judgment or atonement, right? So I think we're going to do a judgment here. And to move on, we have arget here. Yeah, arget. This is pretty interesting. It means like the verb itself, like, you know, the infinitive form. It means like to, like, goes out, like to go out. You know, so yeah, because there is like argan or argan, if you will. There's also argangan as well. So I would think argan or argan would have this. Yeah, especially argan would have this conjugation here. But anyway, so to translate this, yeah, so goes out or I think passes away. It would be another way to translate it, but like let's keep it simple here. Goes out. Okay. Fantastic. All right, let's move on to the next one. Whoops, I gotta put a comma there. Right, let's move on. Tsa vedremo hirie si gehalot verde. Okay, where do we go? How to translate this? Okay, this I had a little difficulty with when I was translating this. Tsa means like to. Yeah, it means like to or at. So to. This word here I had some trouble because this is a very dialectal word, and what it means is it's actually a compound of the definite definite like article, like the, but in the singular dative. And this word here, weather, is actually a Bavarian form, if you will, of like wedar, which means wedar, or earlier wedar, means like weather, as in like weather. But in this context, it's like weather of the two. So two. The, I guess the, because thing is it's in the dative, right? So well, actually no, we have a preposition there. So two, I guess two, whether of the two army. But the thing is, this is in the singular, whatnot. That so yeah, that singular dative. So that makes it kind of complex. Actually, hang on, and we're back. Okay, so two, whether of the two army, and then we have si gehalot werde. Okay, so this is pretty complex because it turns out that this is actually a subjunctive plural for werden, which evolved later into werden, meaning to to become and whatnot, or but in Old High German it was used in the way how you would use the word or the verb to be. So and we know this is plural because this is actually the personal pronoun for they, which makes it complex because there's other ways of saying they as well in the nominative, which makes Old High German quite hard to learn. But anyway, so they, and then you got werde, so they, and you got gehalot, and this means, this is a past participle, so this is called. So this is how this would be translated, because so we got they, see, gehalot, called, and then you got werde, which is like, I guess a way to translate it in English would be like be, so but for a nice translation, I would translate this as like to an to an army. So hang on, it's just so to an army, whether of the two, they called be, or if you want a nicer translation, they be called. All right, so to an army, whether the two, they be called, or that's one way of translating it. But like let's keep it literal here, army and whatnot, so things can follow up with each other and whatnot. So because this stuff is not easy. All right, let's so let's move on. Okay, wanta ipu sia das satan natses kisindi ki winnet. Okay, so what is being said here? We have wanta, which means because or since, and we got ipu, which means if, and then we have this is where it gets a little complex. Sia, in this context, is the accusative singular feminine, again referring to the soul, because soul is feminine. It's her, and then we got das, that, and then we got Satan's kisindi, which means like retinue, which means like referring to a group of people that like associates or like advisors and stuff, like basically Satan's men, right? Anyway, so So because if her, then Satan's men, or I guess retinue, Cassindi, Kiwinnit, this means conquers, or, well, conquers. A literal translation would be like wins, because we have, winnit, and this is the what would be the GE prefix, or GI, no, well, KI prefix, we got a dialectal thing going on. We've got a K there. Cool, but let's move on. Let's move on. Then we have our next sentence here. Das leidsit, siasar dar iro leid wirdet. So what is going on here? Okay, in this sentence, whoops, what are we doing here? Okay, we got that. Then we get leidsit, and this means this is from the verb, I believe, leiten, which means to lead. This is this is actually in the third person singular present, because this is also in the accusative, so it's like that leads her, and we got sar again, which means like at once or immediately. Dar, like, which means there, and we got iru, which means iru is like saying, I believe it's in the genitive or in the dative, right? It's iru, so like her laid, which means grief or sorrow. Then vurdit, it's from verdan, which means like to be, to happen, to become. So like, as a quick translation, that leads her at once, her grief happens, or grief becomes, or grief is, if you will. So let's pretty much, it's 1 second. Just checked again. Iru in this context means her, but it's also ira. But then again, we're dealing with a 9th century Bavarian text, right? And spellings differ from dialect to dialect and whatnot. So, leid, wirdit, okay, cool. So das leitet, siasar dar in iru leid wirdet. That leads her at once there, her grief happens. Let's move on. So, in fuir, inti, in finstri, das ist rechto, virinlīh ding. So, what we have here is into fire and into darkness. That is resto. Resto can mean very or rightly. So that could be rightly. Virinlīh means terrible, and ding means thing, or it could also mean what's the thing? It can also, I can't spell. What's wrong with me? I can't spell today. Anyway, ding can also mean like accusation, thing, cause or whatnot. So many ways for that word to mean that. This is what we have so far. Into fire and into darkness. That is really a terrible thing. Okay, this is word per word translation. Very straight to the point, no screwing around or whatnot, and Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to continue this and whatnot. So please subscribe if you're new. I like my videos to be of this nature, to be very sort of like down to earth and and getting right down to it. You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you're new, and if you really like the channel, please become a patron on my Patreon page down below. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.